All right, you guys, the wolf is back. Happy Friday. Um, so I wanted to make a video about this topic. So my husband and I are doing what we were doing, what married people do. And every now and then we'll decide to turn on a special adult video, just being honest. And we recently noticed that in the state of Texas, all adult websites are banned. And as we're reading the rules or whatever the wording behind why these websites are no longer accessible in Texas, essentially it states that in the state of Texas you need to prove you are of legal age to access these websites. So what these companies are doing is they are stating that they want us to get you guys to provide IDs, and we feel like providing your ID is an invasion of your privacy, so we're just gonna not make these websites accessible to you in Texas. You guys will get in my comments and you will say, well, just get a VPN. And I understand that. We will definitely get a VPN. We've used them before. I think the way the Texas government, the way the governments in the South are moving, it is concerning to me. I'm not gonna lie, it's very concerning. It feels very restrictive on your personal freedom. And it's kind of like ironic because these states pride themselves on, allowing you to be free in their governments not invading in your personal life. But, as you, when you actually live here, you realize that they do invade your personal freedoms a lot. And it almost feels like if you can't live by their rules and their ideas of what it means to be free and their ideas of how you should be living your life, then you don't belong here. Like, you don't have any real freedom here. So what are they going to ban next? Are they going to ban gay sex next? Are they going to, classify that as sodomy or whatever you're going to call it and restrict that? Are they going to try to ban gay marriage next? So we know that Donald Trump has talked about it a few times on his campaign, that he's going to make some type of constitutional amendment to state that marriage is strictly between a man and a woman. And I bring this all up because this is it's concerning. Like, if we truly are the land of the free and we want to honor our values and whatever's in the Constitution, we need to practice that. But it just feels like things are getting more and more restrictive down here. So if you live in the South, is that happening to you as well? Like, if you live in Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, have you noticed the same thing? Are your adult websites banned? Please let me know in the comments. Excuse me. When it comes to the educational system here in Texas, first, let me just back up a little bit. I agree with making these adult websites more restrictive in terms of their access for children. I don't want to see children accessing these websites. But when it comes to the educational system here in the state of Texas, they are very ignorant and, I would say, not up to the times in terms of sexual education. Essentially, there is no sexual education here. It is an abstinence-only policy. And we all know that, abstinence only doesn't work. As I've gotten older, I've realized that many people, even in middle school, were having sex. That's crazy in my mind, but that's the reality of the world that we live in. I didn't lose my virginity till I was about 20. I think I was 19 or 20 years old. So I was a late bloomer in that area of my life. But many people are, getting pregnant, having sexual experiences at a very, very young age. And I think it's better to just deal with the reality of that versus digging your head in the sand and acting like it's not happening out here in these streets. As a gay kid, because this is important to me, as a gay kid growing up in the 90s, there were no resources for us. We had no one to turn to. The internet wasn't really advanced like it is today. It had just been brought to us. So it was very archaic in nature. So the way that I learned about my sexuality and, romantic encounters with men was through gay porn. Some of my favorite porn stars from the 90s are Jeff Stryker. I love Bobby Blake, man. I loved Bobby Blake. Matthew Rush was another big one. And it's sad that as a gay kid, like, you're forced to go into this adult world to learn about yourself, because there were no safe spaces. Like, you couldn't talk to your parents, you couldn't talk to your teachers. There was just nothing that you could do but go on the internet and find out what you wanted to find out. My greatest fear is that LGBTQ children today, they're going to have to face the same sort of circumstances. Like, if you can't talk about it in school and you can't be honest about it in school, you're not educated about it through your parents, where else are you going to go? You know, my fear is that you'll fall into the hands of a predator and, you know, get lost down the adult website rabbit hole. And I don't want to see kids, you know, take that path, take that turn. But yeah, living here is becoming a nightmare. You know, I lived here for 6 years during my university years, and I left in 2016 after a very traumatic racial experience. You know, I went with a group of friends. We went tubing. I've never been tubing before, so they took me tubing, and we just basically floated down a river and drank. I'll never do that again. You know, I saw just groups of white people yelling the N-word, waving around the Confederate flag. I remember going into a gas station to use the bathroom, and this white man was on the phone talking to someone, and he literally said, you know, just hire an N-word to do it. So when you come down here, they call them sundown towns. Racism is still very much alive and well. And I don't know, I just don't get the attraction of these southern states to people. They tout a cheap cost of living and no individual income tax. I can't think of the word. No individual income tax, but they make up for it in harsh traffic laws and high property taxes. So in the end, you're going to pay. Like, you're just going to pay in a different way. I'm counting the years until my husband and I can leave this state. When we were in Chicago last week, it was a breath of fresh air. I'm from Illinois, love Chicago. We were just free, you know, just seeing drag queens walking down the street in Boys Town. People were just free, liberated. You know, some Asian girl offered me a blunt, and I'm like, I don't smoke, I'm good. But you know, that type of like friendliness and freedom, it's there in these urban cities, these real urban cities. Now, when you come to Texas, it really has no culture. Its cities are not true cities. It's the people are like decades in the past in terms of their politics and their social beliefs. And for someone like me, who considers themselves an intellectual, I can't talk today, an intellectual, I like to challenge myself. I like different ideas, perspectives, and people. And this state is not the place for that. So once again, I'm counting down the years until we can leave. But yeah, I mean, man, if you're in these southern states, have your adult websites been banned too? What are you doing about that? Of course, you're probably just going to get a VPN and move on. But what else do you think they're going to ban in the future? Happy Friday. And once again, the wolf is back better than ever. I'll keep making content whenever, you know, I feel like it. I'm not going to stress myself out about it. So whenever I feel like it, I'll give you guys a video. Take care. Have a nice weekend and peace.